Ladies and gentlemen, let's get real for a second. If you're broke in your 20s, you're not alone. In fact, you're in the same boat as millions of other people trying to figure out how to survive, how to pay the bills, and how to turn those dreams you have into something real. But here's the truth. Being broke isn't a death sentence. It's not a permanent label. It's a starting point. And what matters most is what you do next. Let me tell you something right now. Your 20s are the most important years of your life, not because you have to have it all figured out, but because this is the time to learn, to grow, and to start building the life you want. If you're broke right now, that doesn't mean you're doomed. It means you're about to get the best crash course in life that money can't buy. Because let's be honest, when you're broke, you have to get scrappy. You have to get creative. You have to get moving. And that's exactly how you start to build momentum. Here's what I want you to remember. Stop waiting for someone to come and rescue you. Stop waiting for the perfect job, the perfect idea, or the perfect timing. Because that's never going to happen. You've got to rescue yourself. You've got to stop saying, I'm stuck, or I'm broke, as if it's the end of the story. Those words, they're just a description of your current situation. They don't define who you are or what you're capable of. You know what will actually change everything? Action. Small actions every single day add up to big changes. If you're broke in your 20s, here's what I want you to do. First, get really clear about where your money's going. Most people don't track their spending because it's scary to face the truth. But facing the truth is the first step to changing it. Look at your bank account. Look at those subscriptions you don't use. Cut out what's draining you and keep what actually matters. Next, I want you to start learning. Learn everything you can about money, about budgeting, investing, saving, growing your income, read books, listen to podcasts, watch videos. Your financial situation will never change if you don't change the way you think about money. Don't let ignorance be the reason you stay stuck. But let's talk about mindset for a second, because that's where the real battle is. When you're broke, it's easy to feel like a failure, to feel like you're not good enough or that you're falling behind everyone else. But let me tell you something. You are not behind. You're exactly where you need to be to learn the lessons that will make you unstoppable in the long run. And if you're willing to change your mindset, believe that you are capable of turning things around, everything else will follow. I know it's tough to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you're living paycheck to paycheck or working 3 jobs just to get by, but you have to remember, this is temporary. Your circumstances do not define you. Your actions do. Every time you show up for your self-every time you decide to save $5 instead of spending it on something you don't need, every time you choose to learn instead of scrolling mindlessly on your phone, you're telling yourself, I'm worth it. My future is worth it. And that's how you kill that broke mindset. You start to build habits that serve you. You find ways to add value to the world, even if it's not glamorous. You look for opportunities to grow your skills, your network, and your confidence. Because here's the real truth. Money follows value. If you're broke right now, focus on how you can create value for others. That might mean taking on a side hustle. That might mean offering to help someone for free so you can learn. That might mean turning your passion into something that earns you a little extra cash on the side. But the most important thing, don't let shame hold you back. Shame will keep you stuck in the same place telling you that you're not good enough or that you're always going to be broke. That's a lie. You have everything you need inside you to start turning things around. And I promise you, one day you'll look back and see that being broke was the catalyst that pushed you to become stronger, smarter, and more unstoppable than you ever thought possible. So don't wait. Don't waste another second thinking you have to have it all figured out. You don't. All you have to do is start, one small step at a time. Because if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to bet on yourself, you can turn this around. You can build the life you want, one decision at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Let's kill the broke mindset and create a future that's not just about surviving, but thriving. You've got this. Let's do it together.
If you're in your 20s and broke, the first thing you need to realize is that this is not your final destination. It's just your starting point, and that's an incredibly powerful thing, Because when you're starting from nothing, you have everything to gain. You have the freedom to take risks, to learn, to fail and try again, because there's nowhere to go but up. So don't let the fact that you're broke hold you back. Let it light a fire under you. Let it be the fuel that drives you to take action, to hustle, to do what you need to do to start building your future. When you're broke, the first thing to do is get brutally honest with yourself about why you're in this situation. Are you spending more than you're earning? Are you living beyond your means because you're trying to impress other people, or because you're chasing someone else's version of success? Or are you in this place because you're just starting out and haven't learned how to manage your money yet? Whatever the reason, own it, take responsibility, because until you own your situation, you can't change it. One of the biggest mistakes people make in their 20s is thinking that being broke is normal and acceptable. Yes, it's common, but common doesn't mean it's okay to stay there. It's okay to start there, but it's not okay to stay stuck. You've got to break free of that mindset that says, "I'll always be broke because I'm young." That's not true. You have more power than you think. You have time, you have energy, you have the ability to learn and to adapt. So start using those things to your advantage. Start by getting clear about your goals. What do you actually want out of life? Do you want to travel? Do you want to start your own business? Do you want to buy a house someday? Whatever it is, write it down, put it on paper. Because when you know what you're working toward, it's a lot easier to make the sacrifices and do the hard work that it takes to get there. Next, get real about your spending. Track every dollar that comes in and every dollar that goes out. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's boring, but you can't change what you don't measure. And you can't make smarter choices if you're not honest about where your money is going. Cut out the stuff you don't need. Subscriptions you forgot about, takeout that adds up, shopping sprees that don't align with your bigger goals. Every dollar you save is a dollar you can invest in your future. And let's talk about investing in yourself, because in your 20s, that's the smartest thing you can do. Forget about trying to look rich or keep up with what everyone else is doing on social media. That's not where real success comes from. Real success comes from learning, from developing your skills, from building your network, from putting yourself in rooms where people are smarter and more experienced than you are, so you can learn from them. So if you're broke, don't spend your money on things that won't make you better. Spend it on books. Spend it on courses. Spend it on anything that's going to teach you something new and expand your thinking. And don't be afraid to work hard. There's no shame in taking a job that pays the bills while you're figuring things out. There's no shame in working nights and weekends to build up your savings or pay off your debt. That's not a sign of failure. That's a sign of commitment. It shows that you're willing to do what it takes to create a better future for yourself. And let me tell you, that kind of hustle, that kind of discipline, it's going to set you apart from everyone else who's just coasting through life. But here's the thing, while you're doing all this, don't forget to take care of yourself. Being broke can be stressful. It can make you feel like you're not good enough or like you're falling behind. But you are not behind. You're exactly where you need to be to learn the lessons that are going to make you unstoppable later on. So be kind to yourself. Give yourself credit for every small step you take. And remember, this is temporary. You are not stuck here forever. So what's the takeaway? If you're broke in your 20s, don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself. Don't waste time blaming other people or waiting for someone to come and fix things for you. Take ownership, take action, learn everything you can, cut out the stuff that doesn't serve you, and invest in yourself like your life depends on it. Because it does. You have so much potential, and the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to start. So start today. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to take the first step. The rest will come. When you're broke in your 20s, one of the most powerful shifts you can make is changing how you think about money and your relationship to it. So many of us grow up with limiting beliefs about money, often without even realizing it. Maybe you were told that money is bad or that wanting more of it is greedy. Maybe you've been conditioned to believe that money is only for other people, people who are smarter, luckier, or better connected. But none of that is true, and the sooner you break free from those beliefs, the sooner you can start building a life that's not defined by scarcity. Because let's be real, money itself isn't evil, it's a tool. It's a resource, and when you learn how to use it, how to earn it, how to save it, and how to grow it, it becomes something that empowers you, not something that limits you. But the first step is changing your mindset. Start by asking yourself, what do I actually believe about money? Do I believe that it's possible for me to have more than I need? Do I believe that I deserve to be financially secure? Or do I believe that I'll always be struggling? Those beliefs are critical because they shape the actions you take every single day. If you believe money is hard to come by, you'll act in ways that reinforce that. By avoiding opportunities, by not investing in yourself, by playing small. But if you start to believe that you're capable of creating wealth and that you deserve financial freedom, you'll start making different choices. You'll see opportunities instead of roadblocks. You'll be more willing to take calculated risks and to try things that scare you. It's also about taking ownership of your financial education. If you didn't learn about money growing up, that's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to learn it now. Start reading books about personal finance. Listen to podcasts. Follow people who teach about money management and building wealth, because here's the truth. Nobody's going to come along and hand you a financial education. You've got to go out there and claim it for yourself. And while you're doing that, remember that building wealth isn't about getting rich quick. It's about playing the long game. It's about creating habits and routines that set you up for success over the next few decades, not just the next few months. So don't get caught up in comparing yourself to other people on social media who seem to have it all together. You're not behind, you're not failing, you're just getting started. And the habits you build now, like saving even when it feels like you can't, like saying no to things you don't need, like investing in your skills, those habits are going to pay off in ways you can't even imagine yet. Another thing to remember, you don't have to do this alone. Find people who are on the same journey as you. Connect with friends who are also trying to be smarter about money. Share your goals and your struggles. Because when you're surrounded by people who are working on themselves too, it keeps you motivated. It keeps you accountable, and it reminds you that you're not the only one out there trying to make a change. At the same time, be mindful of the people in your life who might not support your growth. Sometimes, when you start taking your money seriously, it can make other people uncomfortable. Maybe your friends are used to going out every weekend and spending money they don't have. Or maybe your family has always lived paycheck to paycheck, and they don't understand why you're trying to do things differently. That's okay. You're not responsible for their feelings. You're responsible for your future. And sometimes that means setting boundaries and saying no to things that don't align with your goals. So if you're broke in your 20s, here's what I want you to remember. You have the power to change your story. Your bank account today doesn't define who you are or what you're capable of. It's just a snapshot of where you're at right now, and it can change fast if you're willing to do the work. That work starts with your mindset. It starts with shifting from a place of scarcity, of I'll never have enough, to a place of possibility. It starts with believing that you're worthy of more and that you're capable of creating it. From there, it's about taking small, consistent steps, tracking your money, building a budget that reflects your goals, cutting out the things that drain your wallet and don't add value to your life. But most importantly, it's about not giving up on yourself. Because the only difference between the people who build wealth and the people who stay stuck in the same place is this. The ones who build wealth believe they can, and they don't let anyone or anything, including their own doubts, stand in their way. So decide today that you're done playing small. Decide that you're done accepting a life of just getting by. You're capable of so much more than that. And the first step is choosing to believe it. One of the most powerful lessons you can learn in your 20s is how to create opportunities for yourself, especially when you're starting with nothing. Too often, we think that success is about luck or being in the right place at the right time. But that's only part of the story. The bigger piece is about putting yourself in motion. It's about taking action, even if it's messy or uncomfortable, and refusing to let your current circumstances define what's possible for you. When you're broke, it's easy to feel like you're stuck. You look around and see other people with more money, more freedom, and more connections, and you start to wonder if you're ever going to catch up. But the truth is, opportunities don't always come to you. You have to create them, and that starts with being willing to show up, even when you feel unprepared. Let me give you an example. Think about people who start side hustles. Maybe they don't have a ton of experience. Maybe they don't have fancy degrees or big investors backing them. But what they do have is the willingness to try. They put themselves out there. They start small, and they learn as they go. And that's the secret. You don't wait until you're ready to go after something. You start now, and you figure it out along the way. The same thing goes for building skills. If you're in your 20s and you're broke, one of the smartest things you can do is invest in yourself. Learn a skill that's in demand. That doesn't always mean going back to college or taking out a huge loan. There are free courses online, libraries full of knowledge, and endless resources at your fingertips. It might not be glamorous, and it might not pay off overnight, but the time you spend learning now will compound over the years in ways you can't even see yet. And here's the thing, the world doesn't care if you're broke. It doesn't care if you're struggling. The world rewards people who take initiative, so if you're sitting around waiting for someone to rescue you, or for the perfect job to land in your lap, you're going to be waiting a long time. You've got to get out there and create your own luck. That might mean sending out more resumes than you want to. It might mean showing up to networking events where you feel awkward and out of place. It might mean starting that side project you've been thinking about, even if it feels like no one's paying attention. When you take action like that, you start to see something amazing happen, momentum. You start to build confidence in yourself, even if you're not making a ton of money yet. You start to see that you're not as stuck as you thought, and that confidence is what fuels everything else. Because when you believe in yourself enough to take a risk, you open the door to all kinds of opportunities you couldn't see before. But let's be real, it's not always going to be easy. There will be days when you feel like nothing's working, when you're exhausted and discouraged. That's part of the process. Growth isn't linear. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have moments of doubt. What matters is that you keep going anyway, because the people who win in life aren't the ones who never fall down. They're the ones who get back up over and over again. And don't underestimate the power of small wins. When you're broke and trying to build something for yourself, those small wins are everything. Maybe it's landing your first freelance gig. Maybe it's making your first $100 online. Maybe it's just learning something new that makes you feel a little bit more capable. Those wins might seem tiny in the moment, but they're the building blocks of your future. So if you're in your 20s and you feel like you're at the bottom of the ladder, remember, you have more power than you think. You can create opportunities. You can build skills. You can start moving forward today, even if it's just one small step. The most important thing is that you don't let your current bank balance convince you that this is all there is for you, because it's not. You're just getting started, and as you start to take action, don't be afraid to pivot. You might discover that what you thought you wanted isn't actually what lights you up. That's okay. Use this time to experiment, to learn about yourself, and to figure out what you're really passionate about. Because when you find that thing that lights a fire in your belly, you're going to be unstoppable, but you'll never find it if you're not willing to take the first step. So here's what I want you to remember. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for perfect timing. The perfect time to start is now, because you're not going to wake up one day and suddenly feel ready. You're going to wake up and decide to start anyway, and that decision, to show up for yourself and create your own opportunities, is what's going to set you apart. When you're broke in your 20s, it's easy to get stuck in the trap of comparing yourself to others. You see people on social media traveling the world, living in fancy apartments, and buying the latest gadgets, and you wonder why your life doesn't look like that. But here's the thing, most of that is just a highlight reel. It's not the full picture, and when you're trying to build your future from scratch, comparing yourself to someone else's carefully curated image is a recipe for misery. The truth is, comparison is a distraction. It pulls your focus away from what actually matters, your own journey, your own progress, and the small steps you're taking to move forward. When you're constantly looking at what everyone else is doing, you're not paying attention to what you need to do. You're too busy measuring yourself against other people's timelines to notice the opportunities that are right in front of you. Think about it this way. Every time you compare yourself to someone else, you're handing over your power. You're letting their life define what success should look like for you, but your journey is unique. Your path doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Maybe you're not making 6 figures yet, but maybe you're working on something you love. Maybe you're not traveling the world, but you're building skills that will open doors later on, and that's what matters, because no one else can live your life, no one else can define what's meaningful to you. When you're broke, you have to be careful about what you feed your mind. If you're constantly scrolling through other people's success stories, it's going to mess with your head. It's going to make you feel like you're behind, like you're failing. But here's what I want you to remember. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is the person you were yesterday. That's it. Are you learning something new? Are you showing up for yourself? Are you taking small steps to build the future you want? If the answer is yes, then you're exactly where you need to be. I know it's not easy. I know it feels like everyone else has it all figured out. But trust me, they don't. Everyone is figuring it out as they go along. And the people who look like they're winning right now, they've had their own struggles, their own doubts, their own moments of failure. You just don't see that part of the story, so here's what you do instead of comparing. Get clear on what you want. What does success look like for you? Not your parents, not your friends, not the influencers you follow on Instagram. For you, maybe it's financial freedom, maybe it's creative fulfillment, maybe it's building something that matters. Whatever it is, own it, because when you know what you're aiming for, it's a lot easier to tune out the noise and focus on your own path. Then take a hard look at how you're spending your time. Are you putting in the work to get where you want to go? Are you building skills, meeting new people, and pushing yourself outside your comfort zone? Or are you just scrolling through social media, comparing your life to someone else's? The answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know. One of the best things you can do to break out of the comparison trap is to put your head down and focus on your own work. Set small, achievable goals for yourself and celebrate every time you hit one. Build momentum in your own life instead of getting caught up in what everyone else is doing. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with the results of your choices. You're the one who's going to look back in 10 years and see how far you've come, or how stuck you stayed because you were too busy worrying about everyone else. Another thing to remember is that everyone's timeline is different. Some people hit their stride early. Some people don't figure it out until their 30s, 40s, or even later. That doesn't mean you're behind. It just means you're on your own journey, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Here's a simple exercise you can try. Every time you catch yourself comparing your life to someone else's, stop and ask yourself, what can I do today to make my life better? Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, Because the more you focus on what you can control right now, the less power comparison has over you. It's okay to be inspired by other people's success. It's okay to look at what someone else has done and think, wow, I'd love to do something like that someday.
But don't let that turn into self-doubt or jealousy. Let it motivate you. Let it remind you of what's possible when you stay focused on your own growth. You're in your 20s, and yes, you're broke. But you're also in the perfect position to figure out who you are and what you want.
Don't waste that energy worrying about how you measure up to someone else. Use it to build the life you want, one small step at a time, because when you stop comparing and start creating, that's when everything changes. You'll feel more in control, you'll feel more confident, and you'll be amazed at what you can achieve when you stop letting other people's lives distract you from your own. Being broke in your 20s can make you feel like you're stuck in quicks, and like you're working so hard just to keep your head above water. But the truth is, this season of your life is about more than just surviving. It's about building habits and a mindset that will carry you for decades to come.
When you're in survival mode, you start to see how every single choice matters. Every dollar, every decision, every opportunity you take or miss, they add up. That's why learning to take full responsibility for your life is the most important thing you can do right now.
It's easy to blame the system, your family, or the economy for your circumstances. And sure, there are real obstacles, no one's denying that. But when you stay stuck in blame, you're giving away your power. You're saying, I can't change this because it's not my fault. And that's a trap, because even if it's not your fault, it's still your responsibility. No one else is coming to fix your life for you. You have to do that, and when you own that responsibility, you stop feeling like a victim and start feeling like the driver of your own life. This doesn't mean you have to have all the answers right away. It doesn't mean you'll magically stop feeling overwhelmed or lost. It just means you're no longer waiting for someone to rescue you. You're not waiting for the perfect job, the perfect relationship, or the perfect moment. You're saying, I'm going to work with what I've got and make something happen, no matter what. Responsibility isn't about beating yourself up for the mistakes you've made or the things you didn't know. It's about saying, okay, here's where I am right now. What can I do to make it better? Because once you see that you have the power to take action, you'll stop feeling stuck. You'll start to see possibilities where before you only saw problems. Let me tell you, this mindset shift is huge. It's what separates people who stay broke and frustrated from the people who find a way to climb out and create something amazing. When you start to think like an owner, when you treat your life like it's a business and you're the CEO, you see everything differently. You stop wasting time on excuses. You start focusing on solutions. This is especially important when you're broke in your 20s because the habits you build now will shape the rest of your life. If you can learn to be resourceful, to hustle, to keep going even when it's hard, that's a skill that will serve you forever. It's not about the money. It's about how you show up for yourself. It's about the energy you bring to everything you do. Look around you. Some people in their 20s are already ahead of the game because they've decided to take ownership. They're not waiting for the world to give them a handout. They're figuring out how to learn, grow, and adapt. And if they can do it, so can you. That might mean taking jobs you don't love right now to build a financial safety net. It might mean sacrificing nights out or expensive trips so you can save or invest in something bigger. It might mean reading books, listening to podcasts, or talking to mentors to learn what they know. But every one of those choices is a step in the right direction. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable. You have to be willing to do things that other people won't because that's how you get results that other people don't. And I promise you, it's worth it. Because every time you push yourself to grow, every time you take responsibility instead of making excuses, you're laying a foundation for the rest of your life. Here's what I want you to remember. Your 20s are about planting seeds. It's not about having it all figured out or making $1 million overnight. It's about creating habits, skills, and mindsets that will pay off in the long run. So don't waste this time comparing yourself to someone else or complaining about what you don't have. Use it, own it, because no one else can do that for you. It's also okay to ask for help when you need it. Responsibility doesn't mean you have to do everything alone. It means you're in charge of finding the support you need, whether that's friends, mentors, or even professional resources. But at the end of the day, it's still up to you to take the first step. You'll make mistakes along the way. That's normal. That's part of the process. But every time you take ownership, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. And that's how you build confidence, not by wishing or waiting, but by doing. So if you're broke right now, let that be your motivation. Let it be the fire that pushes you to take action, to get creative, to make the most of what you have. Because this isn't just about getting through the next month or paying off your credit card. This is about the person you're becoming, and I promise you, the person who takes full responsibility for their life is unstoppable.